Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of Race Week. Today I'm going to discuss why I think McLaren are in deep trouble, not just on track but off track as well. Now, first of all, if you do like these kind of style videos where I just talk about one particular topic, I don't particularly know where to go with Race Week. I haven't really nailed a persistent format, so I do need your guys' help with that. Let me know in the comments below what format you would like to see this series as well, and also get subscribed to see plenty more episodes of Race Week if there's anything else I wish to talk about, and then of course I shall make a video on it as well. But yes, McLaren, I mean, these regulations were supposed to take McLaren the next step. McLaren had a great 2021. They scored multiple podiums. They got themselves a 1-2, a race victory in 2021 at the hands of Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo is supposed to be now, these new regulations, he's got used to the car now. It's about making that next step forward. Second year with the team, it should start performing a lot, being a lot more consistent. Lando, of course, will be there to push him along. They push each other, and they'll be able to fight with the likes of Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari. I was hoping that we'd get that four-way fight. Fortunately, it's not gone that way. We're actually only having a two-way fight between Red Bull and Ferrari. A big chunk of this is down to Mercedes lap time as well. Mercedes are half a second slower in qualifying trim and 0.8 of a slower. I think that's what some of the data said. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to do a lot of research into the stats behind this, but I think we know where we are with McLaren and how they performed at Bahrain. But anyway, Mercedes were half a second slower than I think Ferrari in qualifying, and 0.8 of a second slower during the races due to their higher tyre wear degradation. Now, a lot of teams is not very happy with the new Pirelli tyres. We got everyone three-stopped. It's not great. I don't think people want to see. I think people wanted to see a three-stop race, but it's not. The performances aren't there. I think somebody pointed out that I think it was lap 6, and there were only like 2 cars within DRS. So we're not there yet with these regulations, I don't think. Obviously, though, for McLaren, it wasn't a great result. They're 9th now in the Constructors' Championship. There is a big concern that they could go pointless this season because, for starters, they were weaving out of the racing line to try and cool the car. It seems that the Mercedes engine unit overheats. Now, this is surprising that Mercedes, of all of a sudden, who have been dominant force throughout these hybrid regulations, apart from Ferrari's illegal engine, they've been the dominant force. They've had the fastest engine. We saw how quick Mercedes power in Hamilton was at Brazil last year. There was just no way anybody else was able to match them for pure racing speed, and we thought that they would continue that change. There has been a slight change in terms of the fuel, so I'm wondering whether it's that, because there's this looking at that Mercedes lack pure speed, and I don't see how they've been able to lack the pure speed unless they've been out-developed by everybody else. It's an interesting one. Now, obviously, not all of the Mercedes is Mercedes power, and it is a portion of McLaren's problems. Obviously, they had a great. It was a return to Mercedes. They decided to step away from Renault last year to Mercedes, and they had a great season. Being powered by Mercedes, with Lando getting, as I said, they got podiums and a solitary race win as well. So they were looking to make that big step forward, and they've gone 4 steps backwards. And there are a lot of memes and jokes about now that this McLaren looks exactly the same one as in 2017, when it was the height of Honda pain, where Honda was pretty poor and McLaren were pretty poor as well. Yes. So, where do McLaren go from here? Do they get rid of Mercedes power? Well, that depends on their contract with Mercedes. Obviously, they're not in. I don't think they're really in the financial situation. Daniel Ricciardo is on an expensive contract. Lando Norris is on I think he's on a cheaper contract, but it's still paying big money. I mean, they have a lot of sponsors, but how many of them are really paying the big bucks? They don't have a title sponsor, so yes, they have that new investment from America. But at the same time, if they're not willing to invest, and trust me, I've seen owners will take, for example, football. The club that I support, Southampton Football Club, our previous owner to the one that we've currently had now, didn't invest a single penny in the football club. Yet he owned the football club. So whether or not this American owner is not willing to invest, a little bit like Haas actually. I mean, Gene Haas has not put a lot of money into that team, but yet Haas have been able to get the results, because they gambled on not upgrading their car at all throughout 2021. They gambled, put all the eggs in basket, and now they have 10 points. That's probably more points than McLaren will score all season as well. So yes, I don't think McLaren are going to catch up this season. They have the Mercedes is the benchmark for them, but they just looked woeful pace wise. They need improvements fast if they're going to salvage this season, which I don't think. I think they will probably end up writing it off after Miami, to be fair. The hopes. If you are, I'm sorry to say, if you are a McLaren fan, then this is not a good season for you. The other problem is, obviously, they've got 2 big names. It's not like Williams or Aston Martin. Aston Martin have Vettel, I will admit, but Vettel is in the twilight of his career. These are his final years in Formula One. This is probably his last team as well, unless he gets called to some other team. He'll probably end up retiring the next couple of years or so. Williams, as I say, I do believe that Albon is overrated, in my opinion. I know a lot of people probably disagree with me on that. He did manage to beat McLaren's, but part of that was caught out by the pit stops with the safety car. But McLaren have got 2 big names. Now, Ricciardo, you could argue, is also in the end of his career, but at the same time, he wants to win that World Championship still. He wants to become Australia's second world champion. Well, first world champion, since Alan Jones in 1980, I think was the last one. I correct myself. There has been a few more before him, but I think Alan Jones was the last Australian to win the title. So it has been a long time coming for Australia, but yet he hasn't had the car to be able to lift that trophy. He's not going to want to be sticking around for multiple seasons to wait for a car, because Ricciardo is also approaching the end of his career. Time is running out for Ricciardo, time that McLaren does not have to put this car right. And in the other seat, if the car is woeful and for multiple seasons, which we could be looking at 3 or 4 seasons, like it was with the Honda Power before McLaren are looking to be competitive, it could be until the new engine regulations come out that McLaren are competitive again. Will Norris wait that long? Bearing in mind, by the time we get to the new engine regulations in 2026, if he's still there, then he would have entered his 7th season with McLaren. I did wonder I did pose a question when he renewed his contract that Norris could become a one-team career. I now don't think that's going to happen because of how woeful McLaren have been. And I personally think that if there's an opportunity at Red Bull, Mercedes, I don't think that he'll go to Ferrari, because I think Ferrari will lock down McLaren's signs for years to come now. But if the opportunity comes at Mercedes and Red Bull, who have Hamilton and Perez entering their final years in the sport, then will he say no this time? I don't think he will. So, McLaren are going to face being at the back with no drivers to drive for them. It's not a great prospect for McLaren. They've also got to look at their team overall, their team structure. Is there too much of a focus on their other motorsports? Should they just be solely focusing on F1 alone? As well, that was the view of Eddie Jordan in the past, and McLaren would never be quick again. While even it was just at the time, it was their car program as well. Now, of course, they've got a whole range of esports. So you got to ponder the question: what are McLaren's priorities? If it's not F1, then that's not great for the team. So yes, let me know what you think about McLaren's prospects below. If you are new around here, then please do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. Though I'm going to leave it there. Until the next video, then I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.